out with the old and in with the new. That's right, we're going to be talking about reissues today. We all love that sweet 2.0 goodness, but how comfortable should we really get with it? Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's been 11 months since the last issue of this video, The Reality of Reissues, but before I go ahead and send out a 2.0, let's make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. It is the spirit of giving after all, so please give me a presumptive like and make sure that you are subscribed. Now, as I said, I released a video almost a year ago about the reality of Hot Toys reissuing figures. I crunched all the numbers, provided some facts, and I let you decide on how to interpret the trends and what we could possibly predict for the future. Since then, we've had, give or take, 70 different new announcements that have gone up for pre-order. And yes, with those numbers, there are definitely some reissues and 2.0s. Now, for those who may have missed out on the original release, let me go back and cover a few important details. The purpose of my first video was to address a common line or phrase said in our community with figures on the secondary market. Every time a certain figure started to creep up in value as well as demand for said figure, you would hear, "Oh, I'll just wait for the inevitable reissue." And I'm going to be honest, that phrase really started to grind my gears a little bit. And if I'm being transparent, I started to roll my eyes every time. It appeared always to be the cop-out for not wanting to pay above retail for grails and hard-to-find figures. And I've said it before, that I think it's hard to find chase pieces are a good thing for the collecting community. Yes, I agree, collectors who want certain figures shouldn't be locked behind a paywall if they were to be late to the party or whatever reason they didn't get it originally at retail, but there is something to be said about planning, saving, chasing, and eventually getting the figure that you so desperately sought after. I could do a whole other video on that topic alone, and maybe I will, but I digress. All that to say is I want to actually see, and I want to give you some actual factual numbers on whether reissues are the norm or the exception. So I made a video about it. And 11 months ago, we saw that only 3% of figures to date had ever been reissued, and that bumped up to 5% if you included die-cast figures, being upgraded from the plastic ones. Now, I did make some exceptions. I didn't include troopers as reissues in that total. There are dozens of different troopers out there and different offerings and ever-increasing clone trooper offerings, but they, with the exception of 2, have been marketed as totally different troopers. The Jetta Patrol, Sand Trooper, TK, they all look the same, but I still consider them separate releases. Now, I also didn't include 2-packs. Grand Moff Tarkin was his own release and had his own MMS number, which I'll explain in just a moment, and the Vader and Tarkin 2-pack. It released around the same time and also had their own MMS number. However, there has been a little bit of a change over the last 11 months, and we will talk about that in a moment. So, 77 more figures have been added to the pot. Is there something that we can notice? Can we dig a little deeper? Well, that is what we're going to try to find out. Now, as I said a second ago, if you've ever noticed, all our Hot Toy figures are assigned a set number and letters on the box. MMS, TVS, QS, and then 3 digits. Well, there is a meaning behind them. MMS, or Movie Masterpiece Series, is the main line and the flagship of Hot Toys. As of this recording, the Shuri Black Panther from Wakanda Forever is the latest MMS reveal and is assigned the code of MMS 675. However, over the past 11 months, another line has seen a lot of love with an increase of almost 30% in offerings and now sitting at 93 pieces, that being the TMS or TV Masterpiece Series. And they just recently added She-Hulk to that lineup, and it's available to pre-order. So let's recap real quick. There's the Movie Masterpiece, the TV Masterpiece, the Video Game Masterpiece, the Quarter Scale, the DX or Deluxe line, all amounting to over 870 different figures and vehicles offered by Hot Toys, give or take a few. Now you may be wondering, give or take a few? Well, yeah, there are a few gray areas and missing numbers. Sometimes in the line you'll see a figure announced, maybe MMS 675 like Black Panther, but then you'll get a new announcement, hypothetically, like MMS 678. Well, where are those other 3 figures? There's still some missing numbers out there, and you really want to dive deep into all that, check out Jurgen Schultz on Facebook. He updates spreadsheets and every announcement and every release. He even keeps track of how many Marvel vs. DC announcements there are, the link between releases, and a whole lot more. There's also the D23 figures, like the Spider-Man, Avengers Campus, or the market-specific exclusives that are just released and they don't get an official label or pre-order. All that to say, give or take a few. But you want to know about reissues. Well, let's get to it. How many figures have been reissued? Well, technically, 4. 4 have been reissued and marketed as such. The Mark V, the Mark 47, and the War Machine Mark I and the quarter scale Mark 42. Now in their day, these pieces were getting pretty high on the secondary market, so when the 47 was reissued, people thought that the dam had finally broken, and we're going to be getting a flood of reissued figures. While there certainly could be some more straight reissues by that term, I think we really want to look at the term 2.0 figures, or upgrades to older releases. Maybe it's a better tailoring, a better body, better head sculpt, cooler packaging like the Star Wars 40th anniversary line for Empire Strikes Back. Regardless, these figures are familiar in some way. Now, of those 870 figures, spanning the MMS, TMS, QS, vehicles, and more, we have had, drumroll, 48 figures either reissued or upgraded, bringing our chance of reissues to still only a hair over 5%. I've said before in our last video, if you're a DC or Iron Man fan, your chance of seeing that reissue or upgrade is substantially higher. Of those 48 figures, only 9 of those are from Star Wars. Some Lukes, some Vaders, some Boba Fett's, with a couple of Troopers thrown in. One of those Lukes was actually an original DX, the DX07 Bespin Luke, who got a nice new head sculpt and will come back out as the DX24 and 25. But now let's talk about this DX line. The first two were 2.0s and marketed as such for Batman and Joker from The Dark Knight. Originally, these were deluxe figures. Sometimes they came with a diorama base or moving eyes. They came out with an extra figure or outfit. They felt special. Regardless, they don't feel so premium anymore. Starting with the DX16 and 17, they started making deluxes deluxe? Okay, I'll let that slide. A sweet bike for Darth Maul is cool, but it has gotten a little bit ridiculous lately. Now the Deluxe DX is getting a base and an accessory? That's it? Oh wait, there's more. Now there's 3 DX versions for the same figure? Black Adam was a DX, then they had a Deluxe DX, and now there is a Deluxe DX Deluxe? We'll put a pin in that and come back to it as well. Now when it comes to quarter scale, there have been 23 total announcements, so those numbers are pretty easy to tabulate. Granted, some of those numbers are a little inflated. Of those 23, 7 are just deluxe versions of the figure with a much bigger, fancier base. So in reality, there's only 16 total quarter scale figures, and of those, one has been reissued, the Mark 42, and one has been upgraded, the Dark Knight, for a whopping 6% chance of a reissue or upgrade as of now. So those are the raw numbers. You can check my math if you want, as I've shown and mentioned before. HotToysPH.com is a great resource. Feel free to go over there and check that out. But let's be honest. You want to know the real number that matters. Has there been an increase lately? So 870 figures, 48 figures reissued, 5% chance. But in 11 months, 77 figures announced. 14 2.0s or repaints from MMS and 3 from TMS, and that isn't counting the Trooper variants, but that is a 22% chance of a reissue. Uh-oh! So what can we take from this? Is Hot Toys still pumping out an incredible number of figures to pre-order? Well, yeah. We've gotten incredible offerings like Morbius and Dead Strange to some really head-scratchers like the Neon Suit-Up Gantry, but the reality is, as much as it pains me to admit it, there has been a substantial increase in the number of reissues and 2.0s that have been offered in the last 11 months. Is this their strategy? I don't know. Is it lazy? I don't think so. They have to tailor a new outfit and sometimes upgrade a head sculpt or downgrade, looking at you Loki, for the 2.0, so I wouldn't say it's lazy. Is it safe? Probably. The figures getting upgrades are safe bets to sell, and I think Hot Toys knows that. And with that being said, I still think that there's going to be those elusive pieces, and there should be. Not everything should always be readily available. I don't mind paying extra for something that's harder to come by, because when I do actually obtain it, it feels like I accomplished something. I planned, I prepared, I hunted down something that I wanted. That is rewarding, and it makes those figures on my shelf stand out a bit more, and it means a bit more to me because they weren't readily available. Now, does that mean to sell all your older figures because the 2.0 is coming? Well, let's hold off. Let's keep watching the trends. Certainly don't sell something that you love because you hope a better version is coming. As they say, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, but Hot Toys is trending in that direction. Well, that's all I have for you today. Now it's your turn to let me know down below. What is the figure that you most want in 2.0 form? Also, I do have a Vision and Stealth Suit cap that I'm looking to sell. If you are interested and want a good deal, send me a message on IG. And oh yeah, while you are there, make sure that you are following. Trying some new reels and reviews, so We'll see. But if you haven't subscribed to this channel, like I told you earlier, you still have a chance. Click it, turn on your notifications so that you know when our new videos drop. As I said, we're finishing this year strong. A video each week until the end of the year. I feel a few new surprises are coming in the next few weeks, and you won't want to miss. But until then, happy holidays, happy collecting, and I'll be seeing you in our next video.